What's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and today, as you've all seen already in the thumbnail and title, I'm going to be showing you all some of the new rebalance changes that are coming in War Robots Update 7.9. So we're basically going to be discussing all the changes that are going to be happening, and I'm going to be sharing my thoughts and opinions on each change. So without further ado, let's begin. So starting off with our first robot of the day, we have the Fafnir getting its first nerf ever in history, which is going to be speed in flight reduced approximately 100 to 63.5 kilometers per hour. Built-in weapon damage bonus capped at 200%. Built-in weapon damage bonus against Titans reduced from 220 to 150%. So, as you know, back then, at least for some of you who have been playing War Robots for quite a while, there was the Hawk meta, and it was insane. It was even worse than the Fafnir meta, which was currently going on right now in the current update 7.8, because the Hawk had a range of 500 meters with its built-in weapon, while the Fafnir had only a range of 350 meters. And honestly, I am super happy for this nerf. I've literally been waiting for this nerf for like how long. Fafnir's been released, like 6 months already at this point. It's been so long, and I'm super happy Pixonic is finally nerfing. And also, just to give a bit of clarification, what it means is that basically Fafnir's max speed from 100 kilometers per hour will be reduced to 63.5. It's still going to be faster than its walking speed at least, but it is going to be significantly slower than what we've seen now in the test server. It's almost going to be about as fast as an Orochi walking, not even in the dash mode. And essentially, I don't even think that's the biggest part of the nerf, because for me, what made Fafnir so fun to play was because you can charge up the weapon basically for an infinite amount of damage absorbed during the duration of its ability. And basically that was super insane, and that basically led me to one of my most powerful matches ever, where I reached over 10 million damage with one robot, the Fafnir, in team deathmatch. And that was literally the most insane match I've ever had in my life. So essentially, I'm super happy and grateful that Pixonic is going to be finally nerfing this overpowered killing machine, because honestly, it's been too long. And even me, though personally I have a MK3 level 1 Fafnir, I already started to stop using it in my account to be prepared for all these balance changes coming up. And essentially, yeah, so that was my opinion. And tell me once again what you guys think about the Fafnir nerf. Is Pixonic being too cruel right now? Are they nerfing it too badly? Or do you also think that this is a well-deserved nerf for the Fafnir, which at this point has been too overpowered? And let's move on to the next segment. Moving on to the next segment of the video, we're going to be taking a look at the next nerf to our old favorite friend, our old tanky boy over here, Revenant. So essentially, when Revenant was released, it was a pretty overwhelming robot. Most people didn't seem to care about it at all, but right now, it has currently become my most hated robot in this game, because essentially, the nerf it's going to be, the durability will be reduced by 10%, the ability damage mitigation reduced from 99% to 90%, and the side shield durability increased by 10%. So just if you guys don't know what this means, whenever you activate a Revenant's ability and teleport to the enemy, basically, you can heal an infinite amount or a nearly infinite amount of HP, as long as you have healing equipped and it's strong enough to combat the amount of fire you're receiving on your Revenant. So basically what this is doing is that whenever the Revenant now goes into its ability, what happens is that instead of blocking most of the damage, or 99%, it'll only block 99 or 90% of the gray damage that is going to be received by getting hit. So I guess now they're basically making Revenant so that whenever you get hit, it's not just worthless. Like, it's like whenever you hit a Revenant now, you just stop hitting it entirely because it's just a waste of firepower. But now, if you hit Revenant, and yeah, if you hit Revenant now with the new nerf that's incoming, basically it'll actually be worth it, because gray durability will actually be established on the Revenant. And I think this is a super necessary change, because Revenant is just way too overpowered right now. Actually, for me, I had Revenant since day one, and I didn't like it like from the very moment that I started using it, because number one, it wastes so much power cells. Unless you have like a source to get unlimited amount of power cells, in one match you can literally use like 1,000 power cells with one Revenant. I know, it's extremely expensive and costly to use, and overall, I didn't really like Revenant's design that much, and basically it's just an annoyance that holds beacons down even Fenrir is more fun to use than Revenant, because even though it's not as good as Revenant and it doesn't have like it doesn't have this insane ability that mitigates all damage entirely, instead it has a base defense point, which means it's a lot cheaper to use than Revenant is, because Revenant is just way too expensive in terms of power cells, etc. So yeah, now let's move on to the next nerf. So, according to the Reddit post which I am reading currently right now and that you guys can see on screen as well, Orochi, our dear old Orochi, is finally going to be getting a nerf. Or did it get a nerf in the past? I don't really remember. But essentially, what Pixonic is doing is that they're decreasing the stealth duration from 5 seconds to 4 seconds per ability charge, and the ability charge cooldown is increased from 18 to 22 seconds. Do I think this is necessary? Yes. Do I think it's that significant? A bit, but actually not as much as you guys will think, because even if they are nerfing the stealth, Orochi is still going to be pretty fast because they're not actually reducing the speed, which is basically Orochi's biggest problem. The stealth ability duration and everything has not been the problem with Orochi. The problem has been its speed. It's literally like besides Fafnir right now, it's incredibly fast, and that's basically what makes it so strong. So in my opinion, this nerf was just a minor nerf. Sure, it will make Orochi a little less working or basically, but then still, as long as you have like those defense chips on your Orochi, even if you do run out of stealth, you'll still be able to run to cover soon enough, and you'll have defense while doing so. So honestly, I really don't think this nerf is that significant, but I think it is something that really was needed though. So let's move on. And next up we have why is Pixonic nerfing this poor robot again? We're going to be discussing the next Hawk nerf, and I think this was the most totally ridiculous and unnecessary nerf in the history, or this is going to be the most unnecessary nerf in the history of this game, because come on, the Hawk is literally the most useless thing on the battlefield now. Whenever it doesn't have its ability, it's basically useless against anything. And I play in Champions League, so it's even more useless than in the lower leagues. And I honestly think, like, what was Pixonic thinking with nerfing the Hawk? This is like insane. It was already so weak, and now they basically are giving it the Aljun treatment. That's basically what they're doing. They nerf it once and they're gonna nerf it again, and then probably next time, you never know, it'll only have reflector for 2 seconds during its ability duration, and then it'll go away. I don't know what Pixonic was thinking with this, honestly, because the Hawk was already so sad and like nerfed, and I don't know why they even have to reduce the amount of reflector durability, like the amount of damage that reflector can reduce from 85 to 70%. And if you guys are thinking, oh, it's just 15%, that's nothing compared to like the Fafnir. But for Hawk, the Hawk already has very little base health, and combined with this now, reducing it from 85 to 70%, the resistance is essentially making it weaker than I think it's already going to be weaker than the Nebula drone, which you can equip on any robot. This is reflector resistance we're talking about here. And if you're thinking, it's about the same amount that Harpy has. Harpy has 70%, and it's super little. You guys don't know how many times I've died in the air with just some mindless like Fafnir with last stand shooting at me. Even though it's getting hurt, it still killed me because it has so much firepower, and basically the resistance, it's just not enough. 70% is not enough at all. So basically, Pixonic, please, if you're listening to this video, don't nerf the Hawk. The Hawk doesn't deserve it. If you want to nerf something else that's more meta, but not Hawk. Like, just nerf everything else, like Orochi, Fafnir, Revenant, all these meta stuff, but not Hawk. Our precious Hawk has already been nerfed once when it was super meta. Please don't give it the Aljun treatment, and please, really, just don't. Moving on to the last of our robot nerfing spree, we have the Shell, which I honestly don't know why Pixonic is still moving forward with this. And it's even not that major, actually. Nothing to worry about for all those people who love running around with shells, because it's basically just 10% durability reduced, and the side shield's durability is actually increased by 10%. So it's like there's a trade-off, but then also a benefit. So I'm not sure how you guys are going to take with this, but then yeah. Do I think Shell is completely useless now, like Fafnir? No, I think it's still going to be a pretty decent robot because with the Linda Kano pilot, it's actually pretty fast and can be a very nice beacon capper and raider. So yeah, this is not as significant, so that's all I have to say for this. And now we're going to be moving on to some of the weapons and equipment nerfs. So I guess we'll start with the first one on the list. You guys can clearly see it too. It's going to be Snaer, Skadi, and Hell nerf. So I kind of knew this nerf wasn't coming because these weapons are literally insane. They power crept Scourge, Spark, and Calamity so badly. So I really think this nerf is well deserved. So basically, it's going to be the ammo capacity reduced from 50 to 40 and full reload intervals increased from 10 to 15. And you guys might be thinking like, oh, this nerf isn't that bad as like compared to the other ones that I've heard on this list. But actually, when I saw on the test server, this was pretty bad because basically now, essentially to put it into simpler terms so you guys can understand a bit easier, you can use the actual ammo capacity or how long you can shoot for with one full clip has been reduced significantly, and then the amount of time it takes for it to reload back to full has also been reduced. And I saw on the test server it's significantly slower. So do I think these weapons needed a nerf? Yes. Am I happy that the nerf has finally come? Yes, I know it's the unpopular opinion, but then honestly, these robots were just making war robots so boring to play sometimes. Like, the gameplay you're even seeing on screen and now of this Fafnir is literally obliterating the entire enemy team, and basically, it becomes super not fun anymore for all the people who really do want to enjoy war robots with the not so meta stuff. So, I think this is necessary as a nerf. And now let's move on to the Toxin, Venom, and Bane. So basically, the nerf here is very simple. Corrosion damage reduced by 25%. I really think this is necessary because even me, who's a huge fan of the corrosion effect as a whole, essentially, it's a lot weaker now on the Bane, Toxin, and Venom. But I think this is really necessary because even though I use this a lot, and I probably will stop using it once the nerf comes into action in 7.9, these weapons are really overpowered. I bet you guys have seen some of my videos using Siren with Bane and Toxin, and you can see me obliterating Titans, full Titans from 100%. And honestly, I don't think that should be so. Titans were meant to be the strongest robots in the game, and I think that a normal robot shouldn't be able to destroy a full Titan so fast like that and so brainless, like mindless, no skill at all, just shoot because I'm using Siren, so he can't ignore my resistance, nothing, just stand there and die. Quite a sad way to end your robot, honestly. So essentially, yeah, I think this nerf was really practical and really needed. Now we're going to be moving on to a nerf that once again I don't really think was necessary. It's going to be the Blaze, Igniter, and Ember, the flamethrower weapons, the gold old flamethrowers which have been in the game for so long at this point, I don't even know how long. Basically, the ammo capacity is reduced from 200 to 150 and the AoE radius is increased from 7 to 9 meters. Basically, they made the spread of these weapons, like the corner shooting abilities, more, but they also reduced the amount of ammo, basically the capacity or how much is shot per clip, and I think it's not really that good because these weapons were already outdated to begin with, and it's also another unnecessary nerf. Though it can be really powerful at close range, I also think that this was not really necessary compared to all the meta stuff like Puncher, and now we have the Smuta and basically the corner shooting machine guns. These weapons are not even a match, so I don't know why Toxin still decided to nerf this, but oh well. For all those who are using the weapons, sorry, sad to say, but then I don't really think it was necessary, but at the same time I can see why they did it. Next up, we're going to be moving on to the nerf of our beloved nuclear amplifier. So essentially, what they're going to be doing is the stack accumulation rate is going to be decreased from 1 stack per 20,000 damage to 25,000. So basically, to obtain 1 nuclear amplifier stack, you're going to have to do 25,000 damage instead of 20,000. So not that bad. Damage bonus per stack reduced from 0.1% to 0.08. So basically, when I did the calculation before, because since it was 0.1, it basically was 0.1 times 80. So essentially, 80% damage. 80% damage bonus. But now, if we calculate it, 0.08 times 95, because it also says here that they're going to be instead making the stacks from 80 to 95. The maximum damage percent you're going to be able to get out of Nuclear Amplifier is now going to be 76%. So 4% difference isn't that bad, but basically it's going to take you a little bit longer to reach your full maximum 95 stacks. But in exchange, defense mitigation bonus is increased from 20% to 25%. So I honestly think the trade-off is pretty decent. Being able to counter the resistance of more things is definitely a welcome and good change with this, because there are so many defense things that are just ruling the meta right now. So I honestly think that this wasn't that bad, but it also came with a pro, so yeah, it wasn't really that bad, at least for me. Tell me once again what you guys think in the comment section below about all of these nerfs that are happening right now and going to be happening in 7.9 update in March. And lastly, we're going to be moving on to the last nerf of the day. It's going to be for Puncher. Well, we all guessed it. Puncher is basically the most overpowered, ridiculous meta weapon which I wish never existed, because honestly, Punchers are basically the end of you. Like, once you encounter a Puncher, even one, and if it's MK3, you're dead. And I think it shouldn't be like this, because Puncher is basically just ruining the game for everyone. I mean, even for me, I don't even use any Punchers in my account, mainly because I wasn't able to get them, but still, they're super crazy. But this nerf is barely anything. Basically, what they're going to be doing is increasing the particle spread by 15%. So you know that the Puncher does have 500 meters range, and basically, instead of it almost hitting you perfectly at 500 meters, it's going to be hitting you less the farther you go. So for those people who don't know what it means. And essentially, this is a welcome nerf. Any nerf to the Puncher is welcome, but honestly, so insignificant, because the brawling power of the Punchers is still honestly crazy. You can still like just go close with any fast robot and essentially just hammer away. Literally punch them out of existence is the term that I like to use here. So yeah, though this Puncher nerf is coming, it's barely anything, and nothing you guys who always use Punchers on your Orochis and stuff every day and your Revenants, you should not be worried about this. You should be more worried about those Orochis and Revenants. Now let's move on to our first buff of the day, which is going to be the buff to the Scorcher and Incinerator. So basically, the damage is going to be increased by 10%, which definitely I think is a good thing, because currently right now, what I noticed is that the Scald, the light version, is outperforming the Scorcher and Incinerator significantly, and I'm really happy that Pixonic has seen this and are going to finally make the Scorcher and Incinerator better than the Scald, because obviously they're the heavy and the medium version. This is always supposed to be better than the light. So yeah, I'm very happy and welcome to this new change, which is going to be happening in update 7.9. Okay, so essentially right now I'm going to be showing you on screen, like there, it should pop up right now. So you're going to be seeing all of the not so significant buffs that are going to be happening to some of the older robots in the game, but essentially here's the list. You can read here. It's going to be Lancelot, Jaeger, Wayland, Phantom, Bulwark, Hygiene, Mercury, Raker, Invader, Tier, Battleborn, Nitro Unit, Trebuchet, Magnetar, Atomizer, Halo, Corona, Glory, Zeus, Ion, Ballista, and Arbalest. So basically, all of them are going to be receiving some small incremental changes, which I definitely think will be a welcome change by the Warobots community and yeah, even myself. And finally, for our last buff of the day and buff slash nerf, because we did nerfs earlier and this basically are going to be ending the video soon, the Behemoth can now walk in siege mode. Everybody give a round of applause to Pixonic, because they finally are going to be buffing the Behemoth. This is technically super needed, because right now Behemoth is so worthless and garbage because it can't even move, so everything just kills it. And now we'll finally be able to move with our dear Behemoth and use 4 weapons, not just stationary but also mobile. And essentially, let's just once again thank Pixonic a lot for this, for all those people who've been waiting for so long. It's finally happening. Behemoth is finally going to be getting a buff after such a long time after the pilot, so it's finally going to become probably really good again, though not meta. Basically it's going to become a really fun bot to use once again. So essentially, yeah, that was it for the last buff of the day. So thank you so much for watching the video to the end. If you like this video or learned something from it, please hit the like button down below and subscribe. It really means the world to me whenever you guys press that red subscribe button down there and like, and maybe leave a comment about anything or everything that you've learned from this video, or tell me if you enjoyed, how I can also improve to make better quality content for all of you guys. And yeah, that's basically it. Also, just as a side note, this video is participating in the #WRWin Kramola giveaway, which is currently going on right now. So if you participate in this video on top of the main one, you'll also have a higher chance to win. So essentially, yeah, thank you once again for watching, and I'll be catching you all in the next video. I hope you are having a great time wherever you are in the world. And essentially, yeah, so that's it. Thank you once again, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.